Welcome back. We're here in my kitchen. I'm Chef K. Moody. Today we're going to do vegetable carbonara. Now normally carbonara would have some form of bacon in it. It would have some form of chicken or maybe shrimp. But today for my sister Pam and Tammy and then my niece Katie, who are vegetarians, I'm going to do a vegetable carbonara. Something that they can enjoy since they don't eat meat, and then I'll add a little something to it later for myself. So what I'm going to do right now is I've got my pan going here with olive oil right now. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to walk over here and add a little butter, and that's just about that much. We're going to put that in there and we're going to let it start sizzling and heating up a little bit. It's going to mix with that olive oil and it's going to give us the base for our vegetables. We're going to get our vegetables going. What I've got in the way of vegetables today is I've got 2 small zucchini that I cut into very thin strips. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it in there so it can start getting soft. I've also got white shiitake mushrooms. If you remember from my last video on Steak Diane that I did, I always use the shiitake mushrooms. I'm just going to throw them in with it. We're going to get it all going and get it started. And then the last thing we're going to add is a little caprese tomatoes that are fresh off the vine. And I'm going to add them in. And we're just going to allow a little heat to get going to that. And I'm going to step over here for a second and get me a utensil. And I'm just going to get that to start letting that butter and olive oil coated a little bit. Just let some heat get to it. I got a little bit of butter. And I'm just going to let them cook and get soft because I'm getting ready to put my pasta on. Now you don't want pasta to go over 7 minutes. You want 7-minute pasta. So while that pasta is going, I'm going to be making my sauce. And I'm just going to let these vegetables cook and get soft. I am going to add a couple things into them real quick. I'm going to add a little oregano. And that's just for flavor. A little sea salt. Not much. And I'm going to let them cook. Now what I'm going to do while that's going is I'm going to get my pasta started. I've already got the water back here boiling. And like I said, we're going to want it to go 7 minutes. You don't want pasta to go past 7 minutes because we want to keep it al dente. So I'm going to get that in there, and it's 4:15, so I'm going to know around 22 I'm going to take that out. Just turned to 16, so maybe 23. But I'm going to get that pasta going and let it get out of the way. Now, okay, that pasta's going. While the pasta's going, and I've also got my vegetables over here going, and like I said, they're going to start getting soft. The mushrooms are going to start cooking down for you. You're just going to let that go. And look at the colors, how it all blends together. It's going to be a very colorful, very flavorful dish when we're done. Now, we're going to start working on the part that you want to get right. And that's the sauce. The sauce is easy to mess up if you don't do it right. So we're going to start with some white wine here that we've got for cooking. Dry white wine by Oliver. And I'm going to get this on medium. We're going to pour the wine in first. Like that. Okay, now while that starts to heat up a bit, we're going to give it about a minute. I'm going to get ready to add in everything I need to add with that. We've got some 3-blend shredded cheese, Asiago, Parmesan, and Romano. I've got a little Parmesan cheese. We've got some minced garlic, heavy whipping cream, and a little fresh Parmigiano. Let that pasta keep going. Alright, now, this is cooking down nicely. We're going to get back to working on this. I'm just starting to get some bubbles in that wine, and we want to do that. We want to let it heat up for a minute or two just to get some nice bubbles. I'll go ahead and get these flavors mixed around in here a little bit. It's got a nice smell to it already. And the reason you want to cut your zucchini so thin is because you want it to cook fast. This dish has a lot to do with timing. You've got to get it all to come out right together. When you get the timing down, it really makes a difference. Okay, now that that's starting to heat up and I see that that's going a little bit, I'm going to get some of this pasta water out of here. And we want about a half a cup of the pasta water. That's good. And put with the wine, like so. Get that out of the way now. There we go. Alright, now while that's going, that pasta water, that's a trick to really help. I'm going to make sure this isn't sticking. I did add just a little salt in there. We're going to get this cheese and put in. And we're going to start that to just melting and dissolving in there. Melting and dissolving, moving it around so it don't clump together. You just want it melting and dissolving like so. And as that continues to melt, I'm going to add in a little garlic like so. We're going to add in a little oregano here. You can never have too much oregano. I love oregano. I'm going to add in a little Parmigiano. Just enough, like that. Now again, I'm going to make sure it's coming together nice. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little heavy whipping cream to kind of thicken it up and bring it all together. Like that. And when this gets done and cooks for a little bit, it's going to be a really flavorful white sauce. So we're going to let that go for a minute. I'm getting close on the time on my pasta. I got about another minute. And while that's working itself out, these are starting to get soft. These are starting to soften up. That's what I'm after. We actually want to get this pasta to boil now so it will start thickening up on us. I mean our sauce, I'm sorry. Everything's kind of going at once. You really got to move with this dish. We're at 421, so when it hits 422, I'm going to take that pasta off. I'm going to toss it with a little olive oil so it'll stay soft. And we'll get it all going. I'm going to go ahead and turn the back off here. And that's about the way I like it, al dente. So we're going to go ahead, 422, we're right on time. So we're going to take this off here. I'm going to come over here to the sink and put it in the strainer. Like so. Now then we want to toss in just a little olive oil to keep it from sticking while we're waiting to plate everything. Just enough to keep it from sticking. Just toss it around like that. That looks really good. Now we're going to let that sit there for just a minute. Now this has started to boil, so I'm going to turn it down. I'm going to let that simmer for a minute, and if it's not quite as thick as you want it, to be, you can add a little bit more cheese to it to thicken it up. Cheese never hurts Alfredo sauce, especially homemade Alfredo sauce. So I'm going to add in another little bit of cheese there, just to get it. There you go. Now it's starting to thicken. That's what we're after. We'll let that get warm for a minute. That's looking really good. It's starting to thicken up. I'm going to turn it back up just a little. And maybe I'll add just a little bit more of the heavy cream to it. And that'll be good. Right there. That should do it. There we go. I can feel the difference now. You can see it starting to be Alfredo sauce. So there you go. That's going to cook on its own for a little bit. And we're going to get things out of the way so we can get ready to start plating. I'm going to shut the video off here for just a minute. Get things kind of cleaned up, ready to plate, and I'll be right back with you. So we're going to... Okay, welcome back. Now what I did since you've been gone is I added my Alfredo sauce to the vegetables, and it's starting to get really nice there. It's looking really good. It's going to be good on the noodles. Now what I did is I used whole wheat pasta, but you can use any pasta that you like. And you want to just spoon your vegetables and the sauce right over your noodles. It's going to be really, really good. You want to make sure you get a combination of stuff. You want to make sure you get the flavors in there. Now I've got shrimp going for me. I'm going to add shrimp to it later. But that's the vegetable carbonara. Now what I did is I saved a little bit of the zest of the zucchini for a little garnish, and then like I often do, I'm going to end it with a little paprika, and that's going to give it some color. And there's vegetable carbonara. It's going to be really, really good, and it's going to be something easy to make. Next time I come at you with something else, I'm going to be coming to you live on location from the man room. Those of you know me know what that's about. Those of you don't will learn. I'm going to be doing chili. And then after that's over, I think in the future I'm going to be tackling a pie. We're going to work on some pies together. But right now, this is what we got going. Enjoy your vegetable carbonara, and I'll see y'all soon. God bless.